President Trump touting his historic success as D.C. celebrates nearly 2 weeks without one single homicide. Vice President J.D. Vance commenting on the progress made by the administration in its crackdown on D.C. crime. Listen.
This town averaged one murder every other day for the last 20, 30 years, which means that in 2 short weeks, the president and the team have saved 6 or 7 lives, people who would have been killed on the streets of D.C., who are now living, breathing, spending time with their families because the president had the willpower to say no more. We're not going to give the streets of D.C. over to vagrants and robbers and murderers.
So, are we going to see the president's push for law and order spread to other cities? White House Deputy Press Secretary Anna Kelly joins me now. Anna, great to have you back on the program. Is the administration confident that it can bring the same results that we're seeing in D.C., let's say to cities like Chicago, where the mayor has said he is going to fight Trump at every turn, and the governor has said that as well?
Yeah, well, the president spoke to this yesterday. We are having incredible results with this president's surge of law enforcement in D.C. in the form of 1,000 arrests. That is 1,000 dangerous criminals that are now behind bars because of this president's action. And as was mentioned with your previous guest, and I want to applaud her for her courage, ending dangerous policies like cashless bail that allow further recidivism, that put law enforcement in danger, and worst of all, put more victims in danger. So this president is committed to cleaning up D.C., continuing this effort to put the focus on victims, to make sure that what happened to these people doesn't continue to happen again, and that law-abiding citizens in D.C., Chicago, all across the country can live their lives without fear of being a victim of violent crime.
So are you confident that these actions can be taken in a city like Chicago where, like I asked you earlier, there doesn't seem to be a very welcoming reception for the president and his potential bringing of the National Guard? Are you confident that you can take the same actions in Chicago, in New York, places like that?
Absolutely. And one thing I'll point out is the president, of course, partnered with law enforcement here in D.C., and that action has actually been incredibly welcomed by the D.C. Police Union and others, these folks who actually live in these communities, thanking this president for finally stepping up and addressing this violent crime that's totally ravaged our city. And I think it's shameful that you have governors like J.B. Pritzker prioritizing criminals over the people in their cities. People in Chicago and in these violent, crime-ridden cities are begging President Trump to come in to make their city safe. That effort has already been welcomed by folks here in D.C. And yes, he certainly expects that it will be welcomed by folks really impacted by these crimes all across the country.
It certainly is curious when elected leaders say, no, we don't want help in keeping our citizens safe. We want what's happening, which seems to be not good for the people that live in these certain cities. Finally, before we let you go, President Trump taking decisive action against radical American flag burners with a new executive order. Take a listen.
When you burn the American flag, it incites riots at levels that we've never seen before. People go crazy. In a way, both ways. There are some that are going crazy for doing it. There are others that are angry about them doing it. And what the penalty is going to be, if you burn a flag, you get 1 year in jail, no early exits, no nothing. You get 1 year in jail.
Anna, this move is getting a lot of pushback from conservatives, the people who want Donald Trump in office, who love basically every single one of his policies, but they don't like this. They argue that this violates the First Amendment, and they are staunch proponents of the First Amendment. To be clear, though, this executive order only applies when the flag is burned in an effort to incite violence. Is that correct, Anna?
That is correct. And there's 2 parts of this. Of course, the part we all agree on is that the American flag is the most treasured symbol in our country. It not only represents our country as a whole, it represents those who fought, served, bled, died for our country. And so, of course, this is an incredibly special symbol that we have to protect. But beyond that, to your point, yes, the First Amendment does not protect inciting violence. And so what that specific executive order does is it makes sure that crimes that are related to burning the American flag, like starting a riot, riot inciting violence are fully prosecuted. This is common sense. This president wants to ensure that crimes that incite violence, that make people less safe, including ones related to the burning the American flag, are prosecuted. And that's what you're seeing with this surge in D.C. We're going to make sure that criminals are behind bars, that we are ending dangerous policies like cashless bail that make people less safe. And we're going to hopefully bring that all across the country.
Anna, it's a key clarification. Thank you for giving it to us this morning. Anna Kelly, thanks for your time. We appreciate it.
I'm Steve Ducey.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.